Welcome to the Metals Investment Forum. It's my great pleasure to invite back First Tellurium, Tyrone Docherty. He's also the largest shareholder of First Tellurium. We are coming at a very interesting time as Tellurium almost hitting all-time high. Welcome, Ty.
Thank you, Chen. Pleasure to be here.
All right, so tell us what's going on these days. It seems a very dynamic, exciting market. Even though the general market is down, your share price will drop down by the general market, but maybe it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think it dropped down because there's a lack of activity in most people's mind. When are you going to drill and all that? And we're going to be drilling this summer. But in preparation for that, we've had a couple of news releases in the last little while. We bought our own drill, so that way we control what goes on our property. Because they say, if you have the world's greatest property, but you can't get a drill on there, you just sit there twiddling your thumb. But the interesting thing is, it was a brand new drill sold at a very good discount from a group in Alaska that was told by our driller, this is one of the best properties he's ever seen. So they sold it to us and they said, we don't want cash, we want shares. So it's a nice place to do it. And we've prepaid a lot of our work program this summer, and we'll drill the gold, silver, tellurium, and then put half a dozen holes into the copper and see what we have. And then after we finish in Canada, we'll go down to Colorado and do some work. And as I mentioned in the conference there, I'm just waiting for confirmation on Tuesday in the United States, but I think our staking has been complete, and we've increased the size of the property on there. Everything we wanted to do.
Wow, excellent. So tell us what kind of drilling program you're envisioning right now for the summer? How many holes in the BC?
In BC. On the gold, silver, tellurium, we're probably going to do 2,000 meters, just because there's a lot of filling in to do, because our zone was increased. It was 2.4 kilometers, the size of the original zone. And then our chairman, Tony Fogarasi, and Dr. Grote walked in October and extended another 1.1 kilometers, so it's 3.5 kilometers. So we just want to drill a little bit more, stretching out just to show people, yes, it's consistent. And then, as I mentioned before and at the conference, we've only drilled down an average of 60 meters. So still lots of potential down below. So we just want to show the people that are looking for tellurium, we have it here in abundance, and be interesting. Anything we get with copper is a bonus.
Wow, excellent. So I haven't had an opportunity to talk to Dr. Lee Grote that probably you mentioned, and then he thinks this kind of deposit very similar to Fort Knox, and they have a gold tellurium, and then they could have other metals. So that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as I mentioned to people that when we first optioned this property, it was the gold, silver, tellurium, but I didn't know what tellurium was. And when I put out in the news release, someone phoned me up, what's tellurium? I said, sir, I don't know what the heck it is. You tell me. So, but the fact is it's so scarce. And as you mentioned, solar panel companies are going to increase what they need more than what the world market does. And then you throw in the thermoelectric and any other use. So anyone that has it, as I tell people, we're the only junior on the planet doing what we're doing. So we probably should call ourselves first and only tellurium, but we're first tellurium. But we'll go from there. It's really exciting.
Yeah. It seems like you're the only play
yes.
of tellurium. So have you got any interest from the end user to
yes.
secure the tellurium supply?
Yes, absolutely, as you would expect, right? But I have, my attitude been since I, sold my last company from 4 million to $1 billion, is that when you're sitting on a winning hand, it's better to let them come to the table. And if you got more than 1 or 2 pursuers, then the price goes up. So yes, nothing official to write down, because I just tell them, I'm going to drill the property this summer because we're pretty sure we're going to double or triple the reserves. So why would I want to negotiate now when I know that it's going to get that much bigger? So it kind of gets them a little angry. It's not used to juniors saying, no, we'll do it on our terms. That's the best way to go forward. But yes, interest for sure.
Excellent. So you're looking for double or triple your BC resource, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to come up with another 4311?
Yeah, we're thinking the fall time. Yeah.
Fall time? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. How about your Colorado? You mentioned first time you're going to drill the.
Well, we're going to work. We got to make sure we got our bond in place for the drilling with the government of Colorado. So we'll see how long that takes. But that's why we expanded the size of it. We're just waiting to confirm the confirmation of it. But when First Solar had, as we mentioned, they did all the preliminary work and never got around to drill it when they sold it. So yes, we'll be the first one to drill it. But it's an old property that used to be in the gold camp back in the 1950s and all that. So it's very exciting. It's a high grade gold. I think some of the samples were over an ounce of gold per ton. So, but obviously we're interested because of the phenomenal assays of the tellurium. It blows our property in Canada out of the water, and we're a high grade property, but nothing like that. It's just unbelievable.
Well, can you give us some taste of sample or some tellurium grade?
Yeah, we will get it back from Colorado. We've asked them to ship up a sample because my chairman, Tony Fulgarassi, who you know, a gold medalist of geology, he saw a picture of someone was selling on the market from before. And he goes, this is unbelievable. You got visible gold right there. So we're going to get it so we can bring it to the next show.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So next time you can bring the
absolutely.
box of samples.
The only thing I caution is I'm not a geologist. If anyone starts asking technical questions, they're wasting their time because I just do what I do best, a talking monkey, if you will, and I rely on the experts to tell me what's going on.
Right. Well, next time you can invite Dr. Lee Grohl to.
He was supposed to be here today.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And by the way, as I mentioned in the thing for the audience is that Dr. Grohl not only is a world famous geologist professor at the University of British Columbia, but he also consults to the governments of Japan and the governments of India. So he's been around for many, many years. So when I have someone like that on my team, you get instant respect that you're not, he wouldn't say anything that was untoward.
Yep, he was very professional, very cautious and professional.
Yeah, well, and it's better to have cautious geologists, right? So you don't go down the wrong track,
Yeah, they tell us what's going on. I saw you just became a lobbyist of the government.
Well,
so what's going on?
Yeah, we might be the only junior company that did, because if you look at what's happening not only in the United States but in Canada, the government of Canada in November of last year made a big push to start emphasizing critical metals, green metals, and all that. So I said to my chairman Tony, I said, "Can you write a letter to the Minister of Mining here in Canada and ask for a meeting?" Because chances are he does not know about tellurium, because not too many people do, and in fact how important it is for solar panels. But more importantly, as it pertains to British Columbia, the University of BC has patented that phenomenal lithium tellurium battery. So it's important to let them know that we're the only guys in town. We like to meet with them. So Tony requested a meeting, and on the Friday morning, and we got a response back within 20 minutes, which blew me away. I was expecting a couple of months and all that, and said, we'll meet with you next Wednesday. And then Tony said, good. And then we were about to, set an appointment. And then Tony, who has a bit of a political background, said, we have to register as lobbyists, because if there's any incentives offered, cash, whatever, who bought who, the roast beef sandwich, it all has to be documented. So we filed to be a lobbyist, and about a month ago, I think we got a permission. So we are an official lobbyist for the government of Canada. And I can say, Chen, as you probably know, that the White House, the administration of the White House actually knows who First Tellurium are, just because some of our partners and all that. So it's nice to be known, and because it was unique and we're the only ones with the tellurium, it helps that there's no competition.
So excellent. So can I put it this way? You're known by both Canadian and the United States government.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when is your meeting with the Canadian government?
Tony's supposed to meet, but I think he had a phone call with the Canadian government, I think 2-3 weeks ago, and then they're going to set up a follow-up what's going on. But Tony's so busy, they're going up to the property, him and Dr. Grote, in June, and meeting with the First Nations, because as I mentioned, as we all know, you have to have a good relationship with the First Nations or you're going to have problems. So Tony's background, he's a lawyer, but he was gold medalist of geology at UBC, graduated, and then got his law degree, and his specialty has been natural resource law and First Nations law. So if you're serious about building anything in British Columbia, you better have a good relationship, and we have a phenomenal relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very good. Very, very good peace of mind. So do you have anything set up with the United States government, or you're just...
Not officially. Because of our work with the NGO out of Washington, D.C. called Resolve Inc., because we work on that salmon gold with Apple and Tiffany and Company and with the First Nations, they had a meeting with the White House a couple times and said, hey, what do you think about this? They got a critical metal. So he phoned me and said, do you have any advice for the administration? I said, well, just say that they're playing catch up, because, the mining in the Western U.S. was sort of held down for a few years. I said, so just let people do what they're doing, and it'll make the country better, because they want to stop the importation of critical metals from China. So the only way to do it is allow people to drill.
Exactly. Tellurium 60%, if I remember correctly.
From China.
It's from China. So, and then First Solar used like 60-70% of worldwide production of tellurium. It's just crazy. It's very critical. I mean, from the government point of view, they already actually guaranteed the lithium project. Maybe the government can work on, can work with them to guarantee one of the tellurium projects.
It's quite possible, because the government set aside, the Department of Energy set aside $20 million for the advancement of cadmium tellurium solar panels, which I think most of it went to First Solar. But they also set aside $3 billion with a B for better lithium batteries. Now, they haven't been introduced to this lithium tellurium battery, which is far superior, as we mentioned, to lithium ion. So when that goes, maybe they'll throw some money our way since we're the only thing. So I just control what I can do. And if I meet with the government, great. But as I mentioned, we're sitting in a phenomenal situation. So, we're going forward with no red flags at all.
Okay, great. Excellent. Thank you. Hope to hear good results from you this summer.
Oh, absolutely. No, guaranteed.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate it.